Hi again. We are now on to chapter 4. Chapter 4 deals with building a competitive advantage through functional level strategy. So we've done our external analysis, our external environment analysis, and that was concerning about where the firm was actually located, mainly the industry. We discussed the industry, and again I said external environment analysis is not for specific firms but for the industry that the firm happens to be located in or operating in. And that's important because an attractive environment helps to increase the likelihood of firm success. How does it do that? By providing firms with more opportunities and less threats than an unattractive environment would, but by itself could not help determine the probability or likelihood of success. There was something more beyond just having opportunities, access to these avenues for firm success. Beyond just having opportunities, the firm had to have the specific skills, the specific distinctive competencies that will allow it to not only take advantage and leverage the opportunities available to it in the environment, but to do that in a way superior to its competitors. That is what would give the firm a competitive advantage, being able to take advantage of those opportunities superior relative to its competitors. And in chapter 3, we discussed what gave the firm that ability. It was the distinctive competencies that the firm had in its cachet, if you will, what the distinctive competencies that the firm was able to bank on that would allow it to take advantage of those opportunities. Those distinctive competencies we defined as unique or firm-specific strengths. And again, strengths are not just what the firm does well, but it is what allows the firm. It's an asset that is likely to increase the probability of firm success by increasing profitability. That is a distinctive competency. It has to be unique and it has to increase profitability. And we argue that increasing profitability hinged upon creating customer value. Customer value was based upon the firm either being able to afford or to give customers a lower price relative to the competition, and or give the customer a product or service that was differentiated, that had attributes that other products or services in the marketplace did not. So basically being able to charge a lower price or being able to be highly differentiated. Those were the two elements to customer value. Customer value is so important because the more value customers place on your product or service, the more they're going to be willing to purchase. The more demand is created, the more demand that is created relative to cost increases, the more profitability the firm can bank on. If customers are willing and able to purchase your product more than your competitors, you are going to have the propensity to create and sustain a competitive advantage. So the ability to create value is what leads to a competitive advantage. The ability to create value. So we see here the value creation that leads to competitive advantage and sustaining competitive advantage. That value creation, as I just said, is based upon your ability as a firm to create products or services that have attributes that are distinctive and attractive to customers. If you can do that, if you have attributes, whether they be style or status or just newness, innovativeness, response customization, any attribute that customers desire, anything that's unique and anything that is greater and better than your competitors, that's going to give you a differentiation advantage and allow you to charge higher prices, therefore also allowing you to increase your profit revenue and potentially your profitability. But you can also create value for customers through a low cost proposition. How does that occur? Well, you, instead of promoting differentiation, you try to promote efficiency. Efficiency keeps your cost structure down. When your cost structure is down, you can charge the same price, or in most instances a lower price than your competitors. That lower price then creates value, or price value, for your customers. They're going to want to buy, they're going to demand, and by demanding and buying and paying more, buying more from you, you're going to increase your profitability. Okay, so value proposition is essential. You have to create more value than your competitors in order to gain a competitive advantage. The way that you create more value, as I said before, is through differentiation or low cost. And the way that you achieve, I'm sorry, let's go back there. The way that you achieve this competitive advantage through differentiation or low cost is again based upon the ability to have distinctive competencies. We saw last in chapter 3 that distinctive competencies have to be directed or promote 4 major building blocks, because it's from those 4 building blocks that a firm is able to achieve a high level of differentiation and or a lower cost structure via the competitors. Those functional strategies, therefore, before I use the term functional strategy, I should say those distinctive competencies are based upon resources and capabilities. Resources that the firm has, capabilities as well that what the firm does with what it has. And the firm then has to find a way to implement or to structure itself or to coordinate business operations in a way that would promote efficiency, quality, innovation, or customer responsiveness. And the firm does that through its functional strategy. The first level of strategy that we're going to specifically consider is the functional level. This is where the firm actually acquires and coordinates its resources and capabilities. You'll see this term build. So it acquires, it generates, it coordinates, it gets these competencies and resources, then creates these distinctive competencies that can then allow the firm to pursue its general business strategy, whether that be in differentiation or low cost. Its ability to pursue these strategies effectively is what is going to create the value, and that in turn is what is going to give it a competitive advantage that can be sustained. So it all goes back. Our functional strategy is dictated by our distinctive competencies. Whether we promote efficiency, quality, innovation, or customer responsiveness is dictated by our distinctive competencies. But our functional strategies also are used to build and to create those resources and capabilities that go into distinctive competencies. So you can see this is a little bit of a circular flow here. Resources and capabilities lead or shape our functional strategies, but our functional strategies in turn also lead us to promote or to build or to acquire and to create resources and capabilities. And it's through these implementation of this functional strategies, or choice on functional strategies, that we therefore shape and promote what type of business strategy we want to pursue, whether that be differentiation, whether that be low cost. And this then in turn creates the value that customers want. So we always try to use examples. Let's use the example of Walmart again. That always seems to be one of our favorite examples. Resources wise, what does Walmart have? Well, Walmart has a great RFID technology. It has a great tracking system, which is it's a tangible resource that the firm purchased and the firm has access to, and it has refined, that allows it to keep its inventory under control. That is an important resource because it is valuable. It's firm specific. I should say it's rare. It's firm specific. It's valuable. Why? Because by allowing the firm to keep its cost structure down, it also has allowed the firm to keep its prices down. And it's not something that can be easily imitated or substituted for because it's costly. It's something that the firm has, again, acquired that its competitors don't have and don't have the ability to get. But beyond just having that technology, Walmart has been able to infuse that technology well into its whole inventory management system. It has worked with suppliers and has to ensure that they are using the technology, so tracking is going well. It has used that in conjunction with its logistics systems. So now it's just a case where, hey, I have the technology, that gives me the advantage. No, they are able to utilize that technology effectively in order to keep their prices down. Sorry, keep their cost structure down, and in turn keep their prices down. That has allowed them to gain a distinctive competency in the area of inventory management. That distinctive company that is based upon that RFID technology and its ability to coordinate it with other resources with like a logistic networks or supplier linkages and all that, create that distinctive competency in inventory management, and that distinctive competency then shapes its functional strategy, which is based upon efficiency. Efficiency because inventory management is geared directly towards lowering costs, reducing the input that is required in order for Walmart to create the output in terms of the sales that they generate. Right? Recognizing that its functional strategy is all about efficiency, that will lead directly into promoting a business strategy that is geared towards being the low-cost provider in the industry, which in turn they create value because they sell their items at a lower price. They can do that because they have that advantage in efficiency. Advantage is predicated on the inventory management distinctive competency, which is predicated on the resource of RFID technology. And in turn, that efficiency also helps them to look for and to acquire, and also to accentuate that RFID technology, to try to find ways to complement it, to increase, and to also find other resources that can help the firm to increase its inventory management capabilities. So that's why the functional strategy again supports and promotes more resources geared towards inventory management. And that's why it says functional level strategies can build resources and capabilities to enhance a company's distinctive competency. Right? If we want to promote efficiency, we're going to try to acquire, we're going to promote the capabilities necessary to be efficient. Similarly, if we want to be quality oriented, we're going to create and we're going to promote capabilities that are quality enhancing. We're going to potentially get people trained in quality management. We're going to look for new technologies that are going to increase our the quality of our production, the quality of our production process, right? That's why the strategy helps promote distinctive competencies, but the competencies in turn also help promote the strategy. So we're going to go into each one of these 4 building blocks a little more intimately, more so than we did in chapter 3, but we've introduced them in chapter 3, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea of how these 4 building blocks actually play in, and how they actually implemented, I should say, first in the firm, and how they promote, again, customer value and profitability. In superior efficiency, you have a list here about 10 functional steps to increasing efficiency. And I'm not necessarily going to go through all of them. I'm going to go through a few of them and give you an idea about how these, in fact, help to increase efficiency. We look at the first one, economies of scale. We've spoken about this before, what economies of scale are, and we argue that economies of scale give the firm the benefit of reducing its cost structure by reducing the additional unit costs associated with production of a large scale. All right, where do we get these economies of scale from? Well, we said the first one was the ability to spread fixed costs over a large production volume. I potentially use the example of Microsoft creating the software. Let's say it's Windows Vista. The first CD that it creates, that CD has to take or account for all the research and development costs, the fixed cost that was associated with that production of that software. But as they produce more and more CDs, each additional CD has to account for less and less of the fixed cost. So we have, with this creation of a larger scale of output, we have each item having to account for less fixed cost, therefore average unit cost is decreased. All right. The other benefit that you get from economies of scale, or how economies of scale in fact help efficiency, is that when you produce large volumes, okay, you get what we call a greater division of labor and specialization. So what occurs is that, for example, if you look at an assembly line, you might have one person that tightens a wheel. All right, that's all they do all day long. They tighten wheels, and you will say, well, okay, maybe they could have, beyond just tightening one wheel, they could have tightened all the wheels, or they could have put the tires on as well, or they could have put they may have been able to do all that, but by doing too many things and too many divergent and diversified things, what it creates is less specialization, more generalization. When you are honed, or when your skills are honed to just do one specific thing, you're able to become highly specialized in that area, and because you're only